Good evening, everybody. You're watching the Just Keep Up podcast, where we're one step ahead. I'm Kurt Johnson. This is Pete Zindros. We're excited to be back to you guys here on this Tuesday. We have a great show planned for you tonight. We have a lot to talk about, lots to get into, guys. It's going to be a big show. Our featured story tonight, we're going to be talking all about the Los Angeles Lakers and about Luka Doncic. We're going to be discussing how he looked in the first game, the potential of this Laker team, the potential of LeBron and Luka together, and then Austin Reaves' potential as well. He's been on a crazy rampage recently. So we're going to be discussing those topics. It's going to be a Laker show today. So if you're a Laker Nation, if you're a LeBron fan, Luka fan, this is going to be your show, guys. So definitely stay tuned for the show. Before we get into it, guys, I'm going to remind you to like and subscribe, help us to impact and to reach as many people as possible. With addition to that, guys, follow me on YouTube and Rumble, guys, at Kurt's Philosophy, if you are interested in the world's deepest, darkest secrets. Other than that, bro, do you have anything before we get into the show?
No.
All right, guys. So yeah, we're gonna jump right into this thing, guys. So we all know that the Lakers completely obliterated the Utah Jazz last night. Luka, obviously, he was on a minutes restriction. Not even if he wasn't on a minutes restriction, it wasn't. His services were no longer needed past the second quarter, as they led by as many as 30 points and they won the game by 22 points. It was never really close past the first quarter. Obviously Luka Doncic, his first game as a Laker yesterday, massive storylines all over the place. This is the biggest topic in sports right now. What's your take on Luka Doncic's first game as a Los Angeles Laker?
They look good. I mean, when LeBron and Luka were both on the floor together, along with Austin Reaves, the ball movement looked beautiful. It looked beautiful. Everybody was getting set up in the right spots. Like everybody played well. Even Gabe Vincent was going off, and he stinks in my opinion. They got Jackson Hayes going because Luka loves those lob threats. Jackson Hayes was balling. Like everybody played well. I thought the offense looked really good. It was a very dominant win, and Luka shot 5 for 14. He was a bit rusty shooting wise because it's his first game in over 2 months, and they still blew them out. They still blew them out. Okay, but this is the Utah Jazz, though. I don't want to get too carried away just yet. They're one of the worst teams in the NBA, but I will enjoy the win for now. They look really good. I still think long term the Lakers do need a center though moving forward. I don't really trust Jackson Hayes as the main guy. I like him as a backup, but not as the main guy. But hopefully they can manage to keep Mark Williams, which is one of the things we'll get into afterwards.
Well, okay, but the question was, how did Luka look specifically? Did you think he looked good? Do you think he looked rusty? Do you think he looked overweight?
I don't think he looked overweight at all. I think he looks exactly the same as he once did. I think the Dallas Mavericks kind of just tried to say he was overweight as an excuse to get off him. I think there was more things going on behind the scenes. Like I think Luka and the management weren't getting along because he has made it known in the past that they do fire everyone that he likes. So I think him being overweight might have just been the cherry on top. But even if he is a little overweight, he's not 270. He looks like he's about maybe 240, 245, I'd say. And I know the Mavericks originally wanted him at 230. So, in my opinion, he looks about the same as we saw him last time on the court weight wise. And then performance wise, his stats weren't the greatest, but watching him play, he was playmaking well. He was dictating the pace of the game at times. He didn't shoot very well, but it's his first game in over 2 months. He's obviously gonna find his rhythm again. They had him playing a lot off ball. They had him playing a lot off ball, and a big reason for that is obviously because they have two other great ball handlers, so his services are not needed as much. And considering that he was on a minutes restriction, they didn't want to overwork him. But overall, I think he did well.
All right. Yeah. So I thought that Luca looked pretty good. I did think he looked slightly out of shape, slightly, but I do understand the fact that he hasn't played in a month and a half. He hasn't played since Christmas. So I understand why he would look like that. But I definitely thought that his game looked good. I thought that he looked engaged. This was the first time, Lukas comments, he said this was the first time since his rookie season that he's had goosebumps before the tip off, just because of the whole mystique behind the Los Angeles Lakers getting his name introduced last, which LeBron allowed him to do, which I thought was pretty cool. And LeBron just told him like, yo, just be you, don't try to fit in, fit out. You know what I mean? Like just go out there and be you. And he definitely was him. And I think off the bat, you see his IQ. I mean, he made a couple passes. These players didn't make the shot. I think Rui made one shot off of a good Luka pass, but Luka had a couple other great passes. I mean, he had one pass where he hit, I believe it was Dorian Finney-Smith in the corner, and he literally just took the ball, palmed it, and then threw it like a football to the corner to Dorian Finney-Smith. So you're already seeing the IQ be at a 180. I mean, this guy is one of the best passers, if not the best passer in all of basketball. So I do think Luka looked pretty good, slightly out of shape, but I think with him continuously, they have one more game until the All-Star break, so he's going to play tomorrow night against Utah again, and then he'll have a week to go through practices, to go through walkthroughs to understand the Lakers system. And I do think he'll be more on ball moving forward. I think he was off ball a lot just because it was his first game and he's still getting the philosophy down and how the Lakers want to play. But there's no doubt about it that LeBron James plays better off the ball than Luka plays off the ball. So they'll have Luka with the ball a little more. That way LeBron can play off ball. Just because LeBron can play off ball a little better than Luka. And then with an addition to that, they'll do a lot of horns action. JJ loves that. So he'll put LeBron and Luka at the two elbows at the free throw line. And then he'll have Austin Reaves as the point guard. He'll give the ball to Luka at the free throw line at that post up position. LeBron will set the screen for Austin Reaves. And then from there, you have a ton of action. You have Reaves cutting to the basket. You have LeBron cutting to the basket. You have Austin Reaves going out to the 3-point line. If anyone goes while Luka drives to the basket, he can kick it out. There's shooters all over the place. He can lob it to Jackson Hayes. There's a plethora of options outside of that horns action. They only ran it one time yesterday, and that's their main philosophy that they want to run. JJ says, and they only ran it one time, and the one time generated in a Rui Hachimura wide open 3-pointer, and he made it. Because the philosophy wasn't really needed against the Jazz, so you're going to continue to see them work on that. But I definitely think Luka played very very well in his first game. So now let me ask you this: what's the LeBron and Luka potential as a duo? Do you think their potential is? Do you think their potential is one ring? Do you think they're going to work out? Do you think they're not going to work out at all? What is the LeBron Luka potential here in Los Angeles?
I think their ceiling is obviously a championship. I can't determine how many because that depends on the management and how they surround them. It also depends how much longer LeBron decides to stick around for. Their ceiling is obviously a title, but it's a lot of factors into guessing how many they could potentially win. But I think Luka and LeBron are fine, bro. They're gonna fit in well as a duo together. They both have high IQ on the floor. Like I already mentioned, bro, when they were both on the court with Austin Reaves, the ball movement looked beautiful. Like that's three basketball geniuses that you have all on the floor at one time. So I think they're gonna fit in just fine. In my personal opinion, I just think they need an anchor.
Well, it was breaking news about 2 hours ago. He's not the anchor that you're looking for, but they did sign Alex Len. I believe that he is going to start. He's not going to play heavy minutes at all, of course not. But he is 7 feet, and if you're a 7 footer, you can't teach size. Like 7 feet is 7 feet, and so they did get Alex Len, which he's probably obviously just a rental. But I see Jackson Hayes with a lot of potential. I mean, this guy is a lob threat, which Luka loves to play with. He's 6'11". He has long arms. He's energetic. He can block shots. He can play defense. He has to get tougher. He has to get stronger. But I think if you give him that starting center role, I think he has potential. I'm not saying he's going to be a top center in the game or anything, but I think if you mesh him with Luka and how the Lakers want to run this system, I think it could work very well with Jackson Hayes as the starter. But they did pick up Alex Len. He is a 7-footer. He is a body. He is a bruiser type of player, and he can rebound. And so I think this was the best thing that the Lakers could have gotten for this current position with, the trade deadline being over, with you having to buy out players in order to get them at this point of the season. And then with the Mark Williams deal being up in the air as of right now. And even if it wasn't, they still wanted to move on from this Mark Williams deal. So I think that this is the best thing that they could have gotten. But my potential for what I think the potential that LeBron and Luka can be is I think that this can go down as one of the greatest duos in NBA history. And the reason why I say that is because Pete touched on it a little bit, but this is the best duo pairing IQ players that we have ever seen. Okay, LeBron James has a top 5 Q in the history of basketball. Luka has a top 10 IQ in the history of basketball. So if you pair them together, this is the highest level of IQ duos we've ever seen in the NBA ever. And you can't teach IQ. Okay, IQ is something that you are not taught. You either have it or you don't. And the Lakers have it. Okay, not to mention Austin Reaves is a high IQ guy as well. But the LeBron and Luka potential is obviously multiple championships. And I'll tell you why. It's not just because of the IQ. This is the first time in LeBron James' career that he will have the luxury of sitting down and not having the lead get completely blown up from under him. Okay, this is the first time. This is the first probably ever team in NBA history that they're both of their players you can run the same exact action for because they are the same exact player. Okay, this is a luxury that the Lakers are going to have. Where if you look at any team around the league, I looked at every single basketball team. There is not one basketball team, and probably ever, that their top two players played exactly the same and you can run the same exact action for, and they see the game through the same exact lens. This has never happened before in NBA history. So the Lakers are going to have the luxury of playing through their two best players, and they play exactly the same. So when LeBron goes to the bench, Luka's going to be in the same action that LeBron is in. When LeBron's on the bench, Luka's going to be in the same action, or etc. If Luka's on the bench, LeBron will be in the same action, etc. So this is the first time that this is going to happen in NBA history. Okay, so you have that going for you. With an addition to that, right? LeBron and Luka has never had teammates like each other. Okay, so this is going to take the pressure off of Luka to get everyone else involved, and Luka can just cook. Okay, there was a interview that JJ Redick had with LeBron James when they were doing their podcast, and the way that JJ spoke about Luka, and he said uh he has this he has this thing about him where he has this personality that comes out. He's this funny guy. He doesn't mind. He's a quiet, he's shy, he's funny, he's to himself, he's timid. But on the basketball court, when Luka gets into that rhythm, he is a psycho. Okay. And he is an absolute killer. And so if you tell Luka to do that, don't worry about facilitating. Don't worry about running the offense. LeBron got that. You go out there and you rip their hearts out. Luka can absolutely do that. And then when they start double teaming, he's one of the highest IQ guys in the league. He can make the play. And the problem with this as well, and this last thing I'll say in terms of their potential, the other thing as well, the Celtics are the only team in the league that I think can match up with them player wise. A lot of people are saying OKC is a bad matchup, or the Nuggets or whatever. These guys have two guys that are 6'8", unstoppable forces. Who are you going to put? Who are you going to put your best defender on? Is it going to be Luka or is it going to be LeBron? It's pick your poison. Okay. Now the Celtics are the only team in the league that have big, strong guys that can guard Luka and LeBron. But then that hurts them on the offensive end because they're going to exhaust so much effort defensively. So this is a very, very tough matchup for teams. We never seen anything like a LeBron and Luka together pairing. So for all those reasons, one, you're going to get two high IQ, two of the top 10 IQ guys in history on the basketball team. The second reason why I think they're going to be successful is because they're the only two superstars in history that play together and you can run the same exact action for, whether they're together or on the bench. The play calls aren't any different. They're the same exact play call. We've never seen that. And then the last thing is the matchups. Okay, they are going to exhaust you to use every single effort and every single ounce of schematic game plan you can come up with because there's just nothing you can match up with them physicality wise. You're going to put your best player on this. Think about this. This is the first time that either one of these guys aren't going to have the other team's best defender guarding them. That's scary, right? And so with all that being said, you can allow Luka to be Luka, LeBron to be LeBron, etc. This duo, their potential is multiple championships. You don't think LeBron James can ride the coattail of Luka for multiple years to come? This is probably the best thing that could have happened for LeBron James. He's never been on a team where a guy was willing to be the number one, was just willing. Here, you take it out. The closest we've seen was Kyrie, and he obviously can't be a number one on a championship team, so it has to go through LeBron. But this is the first time in LeBron's career where he can actually has a number one beside him that can lead a team to a championship. So you know how much effort LeBron's going to try on defense more because he doesn't have to exert all his effort offensively, and vice versa. Luka could take a little break on offense as well, so they can exert more effort on defense. So, with all those reasons, their potential is multiple championships. That's their max.
Yeah, the closest thing, schematic wise, that we've probably seen to this Laker team is probably the Houston Rockets when they had Chris Paul and James Harden. Like Chris and James play a little different, but when each of them were on the court, the schematics were pretty similar because they're both playmakers. They're both playmakers. They could both shoot the basketball. I know Harden gets a little bit more of those ISO calls, so it's not exactly the same as LeBron and Luka. Harden did get a few of those play calls where he got to ISO, but the play calling was pretty similar. I mean, if James was out, Chris was running the offense very similarly. They both had Clint Capella to throw lobs to because they both like to throw lobs. They both like to drive and kick. So realistically, when you compare this to LeBron and Luka, it's not very far off. And that Rockets team was almost a title team. I mean, they were one game away from beating the greatest team ever, one win away. And now
Well,
you got the Lakers, LeBron and Luka. But the only problem, in my opinion, is that they need a Clint Capella on the team. Like Jackson Hayes, he could do the offense that Capella does because he's a lob threat, but we need the defense to be there in the paint, in my opinion, before the Lakers can actually get over the hump to win, which is why I'm hoping Mark Williams stays.
Well, one, I would say to me personally, with all due respect, that is not a good comparison at all. Chris Paul to James Harden. I mean, James Harden is score first. He's one of the greatest scorers of this generation. Chris Paul is pass first, and their games are just completely different. They have different skill sets, different strengths. Chris Paul isn't shooting step back 3-pointers. I get the lob threat part, but other than that, I mean, their games are completely different. We've nothing comes equivalent. I'm telling you, bro. I've been going through the teams, bro. There's not one team that I can find that you had two superstars that were virtually the same exact height, the same exact weight, had the same exact play style, and saw the game through the same exact lens. That has never been done before. James Harden is a good passer, but he's not Chris Paul. Okay, so this is the most equivalent in terms of play style that it gets. Also, JJ Redick is actually calling. They're running plays. They're running plays. They're running horns actions. They're running bubbas, right, etc. So they're actually calling plays when James Harden is a lot of times it's pick and roll, and you're just waiting. You're just sitting there in a corner. If you watch the Lakers play basketball, which I know you do, bro, it's a lot of calling plays. And it's a lot of screen action. It's a lot of backdoor cuts. It's guys getting open. And so I think the action that they run with LeBron James at the post they're going to run that two-man action with Luka at the post as well. So these are actually drawn up plays where you're setting screens and then guys are cutting backdoor, etc. This is the like you can call the same exact plays for these two superstars. I've never seen anything like this, anything that comes close to it. Personally, I think that their potential maxed out is multiple championships, and it'd be completely up to LeBron. LeBron can sit there and ride the coattails of Luka for years if he wants to. It doesn't matter. You don't think LeBron could play for another 4 years, average, maybe 21 points a game
Mm-hmm.
next year, then 18 the next year, then 15 the next year, but
Mm-hmm.
still have high IQ, could still manipulate the game with his passing and can help Luka. Another thing that I forgot to mention as well, guys, this is the perfect situation, and I don't hear anybody talking about this, by the way, but this is the perfect situation for Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic doesn't even speak full English. His English is a little broken. Okay. So, and on top of that, he's going through a tremendously hard time right now where the Mavs are not only attacking his basketball play, Luka, the basketball player, they're also attacking Luka, his character. They're attacking Luka Doncic, the competitor. They're attacking Luka Doncic, the person. Okay. And so he needs people right now. I don't know if you guys have seen, but LeBron waited for him to do his press conference and then he walked off with Luka, right? He texted Luka and said, "You can get introduced last." Right? You see Luka, sitting with LeBron on the bench. So Luka is already a guy where he doesn't want to talk much. He just wants the ball. So he's not like this, camaraderie leader, this vocal leader. But on top of that, he's going through a hard time right now. What better way to have someone by your side than LeBron James, who's going to do all the talking? He's going to do all the professional stuff. He's going to do all the commercials. All Luka has to do is show up to the game and ball. So this is the perfect situation for Luka Doncic, and he's not going to be relied on as what do you say to the team if they're struggling, blah blah blah. That's all going to be LeBron James, and if you're looking for a number two, that's going to be JJ Redick. Okay, so Luka is in the perfect situation right now in his career where he can just focus on basketball and nothing else. So along with everything I just said, I think that the potential is multiple championships depending on what LeBron wants to do.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it just comes down to management and how much longer LeBron is willing to play. I have no doubts LeBron could even play till 45 and still be a good player. Like he's aging like fine wine. It's just a matter of whether he wants to do it or not. I mean, to be honest with you, with the way he was talking, at least before this trade, he was kind of making it known that he's probably not going to sign another deal. He has 1 year on his contract after this, so he was pretty much insisting that this was the end for him. But maybe now that he got Luka, maybe he changed his mind. He's like, you know what?
Yes.
I got another guy behind me that can actually help me win now. So why not take advantage and add on to my legacy? I don't
Yes.
know. I don't know if this went through his head now, but it is possible.
Yes, bro, because look how rejuvenated not only LeBron James, but look how rejuvenated the Lakers look. They are 13-2 in their last 15 games. They're 10-1 in their last 11 games. They are currently on a 6-game winning streak. They asked Luka Doncic, they said, what's the best part about the Lakers so far, or about being in LA so far? Was it, the lake? Was it the warm weather? Was it being in LA with the stars? Was it LeBron James being your teammate? What was it? You know what he said? He said, and I'll botch the quote because he's not fully English, but what he meant was the camaraderie of the Lakers. What he said was just the energy of the bench when a guy makes a play. The guys are making jokes, they're laughing. There's a chemistry with this team right now. They are super close. They're super supportive of one another. Canceling out Dalton Connect right now because he's going through his own situation, but canceling him out, they are on fire right now, on the court and off the court. And so, you can't take that for granted. And the way that LeBron James has looked rejuvenated this last month, last year he was saying that he was indicating that this could be his last year or next year could be his last year. However, this was with Anthony Davis that was proven that he couldn't lead a team to a championship, right? LeBron was always going to have to be the main guy. Now, you're in a situation where Luka carried Jalen Brunson and Maxi Kleber to the conference finals 3 years ago. Just this year, he carried Dwight Powell, Kyrie Irving, who played terrible in the finals, by the way, to the NBA finals. Okay, and he had a streaky postseason. Kyrie Irving had a streaky postseason as well. I'm pretty sure you guys all remember the 8 point games, the 10 point games, and stuff like that. And people were covering it up by saying he's saving his energy. No, he's just playing bad, right? He's older. It's gonna happen, right? So Luka carried that team to the finals. Can you imagine what he's going to do with a high IQ individual like LeBron James? You know what I mean? With Austin Reaves, with JJ Redick's mastermind, etc. So this is going to be a light show. And, I think if LeBron wants to for years to come, he can ride the coat. I think that LeBron's looking at it right now saying, this changes the trajectory of my career. Imagine if after next year, LeBron says, I'm going to play 2 more years and I'm going to take a pay cut, go get more players. Can
Mm-hmm.
you imagine that? A 27, 28-year-old Luka at the peak of his powers, entering his prime, with Austin Reaves 26, 27, 28 entering his prime, and LeBron saying, screw my money, go get someone else. I'll be a 15 points per game scorer that could facilitate. This could potentially, LeBron could stack up rings here like Brady did in the back nine of his career. So I, listen, man, there's nothing for LeBron to lose at this point, right? Who cares? His average is at 27 points per game right now. It's not gonna go up, right? So even if his scoring average goes down to 25, 24 points a game, that'll still be top 10 all time. And you could continue to rack up your longevity numbers and chase more rings. So I think that their potential is multiple rings, bro. I really do.
Yeah, it's all up to LeBron. If he wants to stick around, if he wants to take pay cuts to bring in more guys, it's really all on him at this point. I mean, if he's thirsty for a bigger legacy, then it's very possible. I mean, in my opinion, LeBron's already the GOAT, regardless of what happens with this team. But adding more championships, bro, eventually it's just not going to be close, bro. It's just not. But I will say one thing, though, that I know the Jordan fans are going to bring up. I think at this point you can't say LeBron is better than Luka at this point right now, right? So Luka's the best player on the Lakers. If Luka wins Finals MVP with the Lakers winning a title, I know the Jordan fans are gonna hold that against them. I know it. I know they're gonna hold it against them. But I don't give a shit, bro. He's already my GOAT. The fact that he's 40 years old, even winning championships, is the second best player on the team. That alone should just show you he's the GOAT.
Yeah, bro. And also, you have to take into consideration as well, bro. Like, yes, LeBron may be the second best player on the team, but there's no doubt about it. He is the leader. And there's a stigma now where Luka can't win, right? So if Luka goes to LeBron and wins, there's going to be one common denominator, and that's LeBron James until Luka wins one without LeBron, right? So the unproven man is Luka right now. So, and I would make the argument that if they go into the finals, I see Luka dominating the postseason early, just as much as AD dominated the postseason early. And then as you got to the later rounds and LeBron was closer and closer to a championship, you saw his play ratchet up to another level. And I see that happening as well, where the earlier rounds, Luka's going to carry them through. The offense will run through Luka. As it gets later and LeBron can sense that they're closer to a title, he's going to give all he has. And I still feel like LeBron at the peak of his powers, trying his absolute hardest, is one of the top three players in all of basketball. So I'm interested to see how this pairing looks. But we'll move on. We'll go into we kind of touched on it a little bit, LeBron and Luka, but now let's go to the full Lakers. Okay, what's the potential of this Laker team currently constructed this year? What's the potential just of this year with them currently constructed? So let's say, for example, the Mark Williams trade doesn't go through. They have Alex Lynn. They have Jackson Hayes. What's your potential for this team this year?
Depending on who they got to go through, I think they can make a run at the Western Conference Finals. There's only one team that I feel like is really in their way without Mark Williams. I think that's the Oklahoma City Thunder, the team that I already had as my favorite prior to this. Because when you just look at the Thunder, bro, they're so well rounded, bro. Like these dudes right now are first seed in the West, and their second best player, Chet, has played maybe like 10 games all season so far, bro. Bro, Shea has been playing on another level so far. They got defense all over the place. Like literally everybody in their starting five can defend. They have an amazing defense, bro. Bro, you know when you have Chet Holmgren playing power forward, it's a problem defensively, bro. Like that front court with Chet and Hartenstein, bro, is so much of a problem defensively. And then you got the guard defenders like Shea's a good defender. He's also great at manipulating passing lanes for steals and fast break points and stuff like that. J Dub's a great defender. Lou Dort is a great defender. So overall, I think the Thunder are a better basketball team. But if the Lakers keep Mark Williams, though, I'll give the Lakers the hump.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, I think this Laker team right now can win the NBA Finals. As currently constructed. You know, your main argument was the Oklahoma City Thunder. So let's dive into that. Let's take a look at this Oklahoma City Thunder team. They're a great team. Of course, they're a great team. But number one, they are young. Okay, that's the first thing. Am I going to trust LeBron James and Luka Doncic, or am I going to trust Shea and J Dub and Chet? I'm not gonna lie, bro. With my money on the line, I'm just gonna go with Luka and LeBron because, like I said, bro, matchups and how team is constructually fit, all that shit is good until LeBron James and Luka Doncic are staring you down, saying you're the only people that are stopping us from a championship, right? And then all bets are off, right? When you're facing an all-time great player, sometimes they're just better than the best team because they just will completely and utterly rip your heart out and the game is over because they are that good, right? And so you have two of these guys together. Remember, Luka beat this same Thunder team last year without LeBron James. So you're adding LeBron James, you're adding Austin Reaves, you're adding a great coach like JJ Redick. And yes, I know this is an extra year for OKC, but I'm just asking you to just keep that in mind. That's the first thing. The second thing, that's if this OKC team can stay healthy because as injury prone or whatever as Luka is, Chet's missed more games than anyone on the Lakers, including LeBron James, okay, in the last couple of years. So you have to look out for that as well as let's not act like, you know, Chet is this bulky guy that they, you know, this two center death lineup, whatever. A lot of times, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. The Lakers might force them to play J Dub at the four and sit one of the centers. Because, like I said, you run into this issue now where if the Lakers are deciding to start one center and put LeBron or Luka at the four, who the hell is Hartenstein guarding? Okay, he may guard the center. Cool. Who's Chet guarding? LeBron James taking the ball up, or he's guarding Luka, or where are you going to have him guarding Rui Hachimura in the corner? Well, that's where the Lakers want Chet to be, out further in the corner, not in the paint. Okay, so I think people are looking at this like the Lakers are going to get dominated on the glass or whatever the case may be. But you also, it's a two-sided coin, bro. So you have to look at it on the other end as well, where if they're absolutely destroying OKC because Chet is out of the paint, you're going to have to sit one of the centers, bro. And then the Lakers then are going to make you play their brand of basketball. That's why it's so important to have Luka and LeBron because they make you play their pace of basketball. And when they can dictate the pace of the game, when they say, no, you're going to run the lineup that we want, we're going to slow the game down. We're going to kill you bucket after bucket. We're going to slowly but methodically drive you down over and over again, right? During the course of a series, I would put my money on the Lakers. The team that I'm most concerned about is not OKC for all the things that I just mentioned. The team that I'm most concerned about, and I'm not even really overly concerned, but the team that I would be most concerned about in the West would be Denver, because obviously there is no answer for Jokic. But my combat to that would be there's no answer for the Lakers on the other end as well because they have one guy to stop or to guard LeBron. It's AG. Who's guarding Luka? Right. And so, or vice versa. If you put AG on LeBron, or if you put AG on Luka, who's guarding LeBron? If you put AG on LeBron, who's guarding Luka, etc. So a lot of people are just looking at it as a mismatch for the Lakers on defense, but you're not looking at it from it's a 50% chance. Yes, but it's also a 50% chance that they can't guard the Lakers as well. Right. And so it's going to be a battle of who can force who to play their game. And I would argue that the Lakers would probably force the other team to play their game because they're going to be so dominant offensively. Right. And so, but the main team that I'm worried about them that's in their way of winning a championship isn't anyone out west. Like I mentioned, it's the Boston Celtics. And then it just comes down to, well, they do have the two defenders with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum that can size up with LeBron and Luka. But how much of that would take out of Tatum and Brown offensively because they have to sit there and guard Luka and LeBron through 7 games, right? And so I think that all the reasons that I just mentioned is why I think that the Lakers' potential this year is an NBA championship.
Okay. Well, I do want to mention that even though Luka did beat the Thunder, it's not the same team anymore, bro. They're just better. Like they added Hartenstein and Caruso over the offseason. All their guys have gotten better. Shea has gotten even better. J Dub has become an all-star. Off what we've seen of Chet so far this season, he also got better and he's playing the power forward position, which is honestly where he belongs because he's not really a center in the NBA, in my opinion. When you got Chet at the four, just roaming around, bro, and he can just be like a help defender in the paint with his long arms, bro. Like that is a very dominant defense right there. And then you got all the guard defenders too. Dort, Shea, J Dub. And then one of them gets tired. Okay, cool. We'll just bring in Alex Caruso now. They got their chemistry offensively. The only thing they don't have up to now is much experience. But to be honest with you, bro,
They don't
when you
have
go
size, bro.
when you go back 10 years ago, the Golden State Warriors kind of started the same way as well, where it's like they made a postseason and then they just became a dynasty out of nowhere. Like they didn't have much experience, but eventually they got there. I kind of see a similar thing happening here for OKC, where it's like, okay, they had some playing experience. They made a playoffs, won a series. They got the experience. The young guys are getting better. They added more than what they had last season. They obviously got great vibes because they're all best friends on the team. They pretty much have everything that you would expect out of a championship pedigree team besides the experience. But like I said, bro, this also happened with the Warriors 10 years ago. So I can see something similar happening here. Now,
I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not saying that you're wrong. But what I am saying is I just think you're looking at it wrong. I think you're just looking at it from a bad angle, right? If you look at it, what was the specific reason that OKC lost to the Mavs? What was the specific reason? It wasn't because they weren't talented enough. That wasn't the reason. So you say Shea got better and J Dub got better. They didn't need to get better, bro. They were good enough to win a championship last year. That wasn't the main reason that they lost. Now, does it
mhm.
does it hurt? Does it hurt to get better? Obviously not. It obviously, if you get better, you get better, of course. But the biggest problem that OKC ran into, which was the problem that I had them running into in last season's postseason, is when you're running an offense, how OKC runs the offense, where they say Shea is going to attack one on one, right? If Shea doesn't have the mismatch, J Dub is going to attack one on one. Those are the two penetrators of the offense. If they can't penetrate the offense, their offense looks really stagnant, and it's Shea just dribble, 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 and then he has to create a shot, right? That's their offense, right? What they're really good at, which is why they're winning games, is during the regular season, teams aren't really, game planning. Yes, they're game planning, but it's nothing like a series, right? And so they can game plan and say, you know what? We're going to take care of the ball. We're not going to throw outlet passes. We're not going to have some random Joe Schmo handling the ball. We're going to take care of the basketball and we're going to make OKC beat us in the half court. That's what Luka did. Luka made OKC play his brand of basketball. And because they made him play his brand of basketball, that's the reason why OKC lost. They couldn't go out and get a bunch of steals and go out on the run and blow you out. They can do that in the regular season. That's fine. But in the postseason, especially when you have a generational talent like Luka, and now he's paired with LeBron, the other guy, they make you play their brand of basketball. And what I'm concerned about is when you get into the half court offense, is that going to be enough to stop the Lakers half court offense and beat them? I don't think so. And I'll say one more thing and then I'll turn it over to you because I know you weren't finished, but I did just want to say that. And then the second thing is I think you're also missing is um Chet, specifically versus the Lakers, he cannot roam if he is the four. That is just not going to fly. If he is the four, he is going to be stuck on either LeBron James, Luka Doncic, or Rui Hachimura, which is going to be the shooter in the corner. So if you want to lurk off of him, go ahead. But Rui Hachimura is a 44% three-point shooter. Chet is going to need to stay home. Okay. And because Chet needs to stay home on Rui, that's not going to make Chet most effective. So what they're going to do is they're going to take out Hartenstein. They're going to put J-Dub at the 4, and then they're going to put Chet at the 5 so he could be on Jackson Hayes in Rome. But the problem with that is now you don't match up well because now J-Dub, a 6'5 guy, is going to be on LeBron James 6'9 or Luka, who's 6'7. The only people that can guard them is Lou Dort, okay, because he has the body. But J-Dub is a great defender, but he doesn't have the body to guard LeBron or Luka. So that's the problem. Not to mention Shea can't guard them as well. So again, bro, I think you're just looking at it in terms of like the regular season where you're like, yeah, bro, everybody got better. They got some key pieces. But I just think you're missing the point where that's not the reason why they lost, bro. The reason why they lost was because Luka made them play a half court game. And the way that their offense is designed, they don't run a lot of plays, bro. They don't run a lot of schemes. It's either penetration with Shea or J Dub. And when that doesn't work, it's isolation ball. And I just think when they play that brand of basketball, that's not their best brand of basketball. Their best brand of basketball is getting out in transition off of their defense and scoring.
Okay, but you do have to also realize that in those half court sets they were playing a better overall defense last season because the Mavericks defense last season is better than this current Lakers team, at least without Mark Williams.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because in the paint, you always had either Lively or Gafford waiting down there. They had good guard defenders as well. They had Derek Jones Jr., PJ Washington. Like they had actual guys that could defend. Like on this Lakers team, you got LeBron, Luka, and Reaves. That's three guys right there that can't defend well. And then Jackson Hayes, he's an okay anchor, but do I really trust him being the full-time center? No, not really. And then you look at the other defenders that we have, Dorian Finney-Smith, he could defend, but he's not very good at hitting shots. I mean, he's a streaky shooter, but that's one guy you're going to have on the court because he's one of your best defenders. And then you also have Jared Vanderbilt, who is a great defender as well, but he's useless offensively. So having one of them in the game, it's kind of just like, okay, so we have guys on the court who either can't defend or they're just not very good offensively.
Okay, so I mean I disagree with that as well. Dorian Finney-Smith is a 42% shooter from three-point range. I get that maybe he was streaky in the past, maybe you could say that, but he's always been a 3-and-D player, and he's especially hitting this year. So that will not be a problem with Dorian Finney-Smith hitting shots. That will not be a problem. Uh, I think the thing that we're running into where you're saying that the Lakers defense aren't the Dallas Mavericks defense, and I do give you that. But the Lakers offense is not Dallas's offense, it's better. So what I'm saying is you're comparing the offenses in the half court, and what I'm saying is if the Lakers make OKC play their brand of basketball and have LeBron and Luka dictate the pace of the game, and they're not allowing OKC to run out in transition, and they're making them fight for every single basket, right? What is going to come down to is which half court set do I trust more? Luka, LeBron, and the Lakers and JJ Redick, or do I trust Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and J Dub? To me, I trust Luka and LeBron in the half court offense, and that's why I think that they would beat OKC.
I do think the Lakers offense is better, but I just think when you also compare the defenses, I think OKC is gonna score easier against the Lakers than they did against Dallas last season, because it's a worse defense and they're also better now. And then the Lakers, yeah, they're not gonna stop them. Don't get me wrong. You're not gonna stop LeBron and Luka. The point is just to try to slow them down as much as you can. And I think they have guys to do that. They have guys where they can at least make it hard on them. While
They
vice
don't,
versa,
bro.
the Lakers don't have
They
really
don't,
any guys
bro.
to get hard on them.
They don't, bro. They don't have anyone that can make it hard. Like I said, the only guy that can make it hard on them is Lou Dort, right? Like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is a good perimeter defender, right? But the Lakers' offense isn't predicated on perimeter players. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is not guarding Luka or LeBron when they're in the horns action in the post. That's not happening. J Dub can't he can't keep up with LeBron or Luka when they're in their post action, right? They can't keep up with them. These guys are guard defenders where they could generate pressure and get steals. Austin Reaves might not play good in that series, but other than that, they have no one that could contain LeBron or Luka besides Lou Dort, and he can only guard one of them. So it's like it's gonna be pick your poison with them. They're great defenders, but I'm saying for this specific matchup, the Lakers, it's not a guard centric team. It's a forward centric team. And that's where I think they're going to run into trouble. Chet as well. He's a good help defender, yeah, but we have to remember also, he's small, and what they're going to do is they're going to make OKC choose play him at the five or have him all the way out in the perimeter guarding Rui Hachimura, but they're going to space them out. If they're going to keep connect, they'll put them out there as well, and they're going to say you choose your brand of basketball. And I really do think no one can keep up with this team offensively. The only team that I think could keep up with the Lakers is Boston. That's the only matchup that I see the Lakers having some trouble.
So Boston and maybe Denver. That's what you think?
Yeah, because of the size, bro. Like Shea is 6'5", and J Dub is 6'5", and even Lou Dort, he's 6'5". It's like, Luka's 6'7", LeBron's 6'9". Like these guys are big, bro. OKC has perimeter defenders where Austin Reaves might not have a good series, or Alex Caruso, he's 6'3", right? Like these guys are big, man. So I think the only teams that are going to give them trouble are the bigger forward centric teams, like the Nuggets. But like I say, they only have AG, right? Outside of them, the Lakers are going to give them trouble. Who's going to guard them? Christian Braun, he's 6'2". Russell Westbrook, he's 6'2". Jamal Murray, he's 6'2". Right? Like they're going to have trouble guarding the Lakers, man. So the only really team I see them having trouble with is Boston because they can match up with their forwards.
Hmm. I agree with Boston. I also think OKC is a problem. Denver, I'm gonna be honest. They won't stop Jokic, but you know what will stop the Denver Nuggets? Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is gonna be the guy that stops the Denver Nuggets from winning that series. Okay, he's gonna go out there and he's gonna sell like always. Period.
Okay. Yeah, so that was a good discussion here. It's a great show so far, bro. We're gonna talk about one more topic, guys, and then that will be the show. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I feel like this is one of our better shows, just like mood wise and everything.
Yeah.
But we'll get to our last topic. What is Austin Reeves' potential? I mean, this guy has been on a rapid tear. Okay, he's been on a rapid tear. Okay, not to mention LeBron James posted a picture earlier, and it was a picture of Luka and Austin Reeves. And he
Mhm.
said, "Man, am I lucky to have Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic." So, and everyone in the media starting to say like, "Yo, this is a big three. This isn't LeBron and Luka. This is a big three." And even JJ Redick, he kept mentioning our three best playmakers, our three best players, our three best players. Like he's making an emphasis to include he's making an emphasis to include Austin Reeves in the discussion when he's talking about the Lakers' best players. So, and everyone in the media is now coming to the consensus. And not for nothing, I was here calling it first. I was over here saying, "Don't trade Austin Reeves. Don't do it. I think he could
Yep.
reach All Star status." I was here, and he right now he is playing like an All Star, and the numbers are saying it as well.
Mm.
Since the D'Angelo Russell trade, he's averaging 23 points a game, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. 23,
Mhm.
6, and 7 on a winning basketball team will get you in. Okay. And that's the type of basketball that Austin Reeves is playing. Okay. So what's your take on Austin Reeves' potential?
He's the white mamba. Nah, 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 nah. Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop. Okay. I think I,
Facts.
I think he's an all-star. I think he's an all-star, okay? The only reason why he might not end up making it anytime soon is because he's the third option for his team. right? He's a third option, and the he needs the ball to impact the game. Okay, but the numbers are there. He's averaging 23, 6, and 7 since the Russell trade, and it's on a winning basketball team as well. Um, honestly, bro, yeah, I mean, he's already all-star level in my opinion, but it's just a fact of the matter that he's not going to get the opportunity to actually gain the status of one. That's personally just my opinion. I mean, depending on when LeBron decides to hang it up, I think he'll reach it then. But I don't know when he's planning on hanging it up. If he hangs it up in 2 years, he'll get in. If it's 4 years from now and Austin Reaves is like already approaching like 30, then it's like, okay, he's probably not going to get it at that point. So it really depends on LeBron.
Yeah, I mean, I think Austin Reeves' potential is he can be the second best player on a championship contending team. I'm not saying they're definitely going to win the championship, but I'm saying on a championship contending roster, he can be the second best player offensively. I think if for some, I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say it. But say, for example, LeBron James goes down in the playoffs or Luka goes down in the playoffs. I don't think the Lakers' chances go to damn because they have Austin Reeves. Okay, so I think he can be the second best player on a championship contending roster. And I think his potential is not superstar, but I think all star. I think that he can be a player who can be in a couple all-star games. I think he'll make a couple all-star games as soon as 2 years from now. I don't think next year, but I think the year after that, where even if LeBron stays, his numbers drop significantly. Austin Reeves stats may surpass him, and he may get a couple all-star selections. I think he is a good player, and I think he's a must-have number three option if you are a championship bound team, and he's a must have number two if you have championship hopes or aspirations. So that's my potential for Austin Reeves. So but yeah, guys, we'll move on, guys. We'll get to the end of the show. It was a massive show for you Lake Show fans, man. We went over Luka's first game, how he looked, the potential of the Laker team, and how far they can go. We went over LeBron and Luka's potential, how what how this duo can look. And then we went over Austin Reeves' potential. So it was a great show for you guys. Before we get out of here, guys, I'm going to remind you to like and subscribe, help us to impact and to reach as many people as possible. With in addition to that, guys, follow me on YouTube and Rumble, guys, at Kurt's Philosophy, if you are interested in the world's deepest, darkest secrets. And we'll talk to you guys again on Friday. This was technically Wednesday's episode, guys. So we'll talk to you guys again on Friday. And guys, thank you so much for watching.